attraction on the movement of the living entity. We started the series of prayers of living entities in the womb, and today we will be taking verse 17, which is 3.31.17. So the floor is yours, Gurudev. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Can we start?
Yes, Gurudev. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pritaya Bhutta Desamate. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Se Saraswati Devi Gaurava Pachari Nirvāsyate Sonya Vadi Pastachati Sati Om Jnanachi Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunamritam Jana Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Papitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadā Mayam Vadati Svapadanti Panyam Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sankirtan Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagano Lalita Sri Visakam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Saptakan Chana Gurangi Rati Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Shuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Panchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhujaya Patitanam Pavebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31. Lord Kapila's instructions on the movement to the living entities. Text number 17. anya-deha-vivare jaṭharāgnināsṛg viṇ-mūtra-kūpa-patito bhṛśa-tapta-dehaḥ icchann vivasituṁ gaṇayan sva-māsān nirvāsyate kṛpaṇa-dhīr bhagavan kadā. Dehy, the embodied soul, anya-deha, of another body, vivare, in the abdomen, jaṭharā, of the stomach, agnina, by the fire, a shriek of blood, with stool, mutra, and urine, kūpa in the pool, patito falling, bhṛśa strongly, tapta, scorched. Deha, his body. Icchann, desiring. 𝐶𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐿, from that place. Vivasituṁ, to get out. Gaṇayan, counting. sva-māsān, his months. nirvāsyate, will be released. kṛpaṇa-dhīr, person of miserly intelligence. Bhagavan, O Lord, kadā, when, no, indeed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, His confounder, Chairman Jagat-Guru, A.C. Bhakti Dhira Swami, 𝐒𝐤𝐬𝐢. Falling into a pool of blood, stool, and urine within the abdomen of his mother. His own body scorched by the mother's gastric fire. The embodied soul, anxious to get out, count his months and prays. Oh my Lord, when shall I, a wretched soul, be released from this confinement? Purport. A precarious condition of the living entity within the womb of his mother is described here. On one side of where the child is floating in the heat of gastric fire, and on the other side are urine, stool, blood, and discharges. After 7 months, the child who has regained his consciousness feels the horrible condition of his existence and prays to the Lord, counting the months until he is released. He becomes greatly anxious to get out of the confinement. The so-called civilized man does not take account of this horrible condition of life. And sometimes, for the purpose of sense gratification, he tries to kill the child by methods of contraception or abortion. Unserious about the horrible condition in the womb, such persons continue in materialism, grossly misusing the chance of the human form of life. The word kṛpaṇa-dhīr is significant in this verse. Dhīr means intelligence. And kṛpaṇa means miserly. Conditional life is for persons who are of miserly intelligence, or who do not properly utilize their intelligence. The human form of life, the intelligence is developed, and one has to utilize that developed intelligence to get out of the cycle of birth and death. One who does not do so is a miser, just like a person who has immense wealth but does not utilize it, keeping it simply to see. A person who does not actually utilize his human intelligence to get out of the clutches of Maya, the cycle of birth and death, is accepted as miserly. Exact opposite of miserly is udara, very magnanimous. A Brahmana is called udara because he utilizes his human intelligence for spiritual realization. He uses that intelligence to preach Krishna consciousness for the benefit of the public, and therefore he is magnanimous. That is the end of Srila Prabhupada's purport to text 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7. chapter 31, entitled Lord Kapila's Instructions on the Movement of the Living Entities. So Papa said in the purport, a precarious condition of the living entity within the womb of his mother is described here. What is that precarious situation which Kapil Muni is describing? It is mentioned here that we are falling into a pool of blood. All of us have had this experience many times, either in human form of life or in animal form or any other forms of life. We have all had this experience many times. In the pool of blood, not only blood, the pool of stool, urine, and other substances, other substances. And he said, and other discharges. When the mother eats hot preparations, it will give pain to the tender body of the child in the womb. This day we are drinking cold, refreshed water, pouring it on the child. When we have anxiety, frustrations, and panicking situations, we affect the soul. Whatever the mother does affect the baby in the womb. We are in a very tight situation. We have practical example of Astabakramuni to demonstrate what we are speaking, so we can have experience. Astabakramuni is bent in 8 places. That is why it's called Astabakra. He's a Muni. He's a powerful sage. He's burnt. Why is he burnt? Because his father is not very good at reciting the Vedas. Where the father is reciting and making mistake. Astabakra Muni in the womb, he was feeling, why can't you do this nicely? He was turning because of the disgust he is having for his father's ability to recite the scriptures perfectly, fluently, very sweetly, because interrupt the potency the mantra carries, and also the purification that it has to supposed to have for the environment when the mantra is not properly chanted. Because one is not familiar, one has not mastered the mantra. So although Astabakra Muni was in the womb, he was feeling that the mantra the father was chanting outside the womb. So whatever happens to the environment or to the mother, the soul will experience it. That is one. Second, we have our own powerful devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. In the womb of his mother, Prahlad Maharaj had all the scriptures recited by his spiritual master, Srinath Muni. as he came out, he is already a perfect soul because he has been trained right in the womb. He got all the training, had all the scriptures in the womb. What was powerful yesterday? He saw 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐵 Goswami was spoken to by Lokesa directly before he came out of the womb. So he's able to hear. So whatever happened, we should have the clear understanding that it will affect the soul in the womb. Therefore, it is very, very important for all nursing mothers to be very careful with the environment they are in, the kind of sound they're being accustomed to every day, what kind of food they're eating, the kind of mindset. They should know all these things have effect on the soul. So it is not a palatable system. The gastric fire, which is burning from the mother body, affect the child. So you can see the precarious situation or condition of all the conditioned souls in the womb. And the most amazing thing is that we have had this experience many times. Why are we not making a change? Because as soon as the soul is experiencing this, when the soul is experiencing this condition, the soul is praying, "Oh my Lord, when shall I, a wretched soul, be released from this confinement? Oh Lord, my happiness and distress and attending your lotus feet are all dependent on you. What can I ask for since I am so childish and young?" In this way, he speaks to the Lord. I situated in this body, dehy. I'm situated within another body of my mother, that of my mother, desiring to be free from this eternal condition. The soul is counting my days. This is the 8th month. This is the 9th month. This is the 10th month. I have no intelligence to get out or to think properly. Kṛpaṇa, a miserly person. So Prabhupada have explained this many places. Lot of instruction. Prabhupada explained a crippled-minded person and a broad-minded person. Crippled-minded person does not think about self-realization. A crippled-minded person never thinks something wonderful. There's nothing about our self-interest for a crippled-minded person. Crippled-minded person. Never think about something of our benefit. Not even of someone's benefit, for the self-benefit. A kṛpaṇa does not think about his or her benefits. A kṛpaṇa forgets everything. As soon as the soul, we are praying to Krishna, when will I get out? We are counting how many months remain, how many times it remains for us to get out. We are counting. This is 7 months. This is 8 months. This is 9 months. What am I going to get out? When will you release me from this deplorable condition of my life, my existence? When are you going to show me mercy and free me? I will surely become a devotee because I have had enough of these difficulties. The soul is praying. Though the body is very, very tender, what about the worms which are there? Also, it depends on others to exist. So they bite the baby. The baby is struggling, praying, begging. When will I get out? When will I get out? And when we get out, we're not going to remember how much we have suffered. Because this terrible situation in the womb cannot give me opportunity to serve you, my Lord. If you release me, I will be a devotee when I get out of this condition. Now I cannot think of anything except the pains, the difficulties here. But my Lord, if you release me, I will worship you. But it is not always true that when we get out, we're going to worship you. When we get out, the first illusion that comes around, is that our parents will force us to accept a particular condition of existence. You belong to this tribe, you belong to this, you have to fight for this, you have to follow this tradition, you have to follow, even if it has no benefit. But because this is what we have been following, you have to follow this. Foolish culture imposed on the soul. Yes. Why is it imposed? Because that is our fate. We have been trained to accept a particular kind of food, particular kind of mindset, particular kind of environment, particular kind of thing. Everything, dressing, everything, food, everything, in particular. We belong to this group, and you have to follow. Yes, it is true that we belong to that group, a community where we appear. Our consciousness, it will function like the people in that environment. Yes. But we also have a situation where Krishna demonstrates to us that it's not always the case. Prahlad Maharaj was born in a demonic family, but his consciousness was not demonic. He didn't follow the demonic principles. And his father tries his best to impose it. Prahlad also tries his best to oppose it. He didn't accept. What do we learn from that? Prahlad was born in that family. He never, even for a moment, followed that kind of culture, that kind of tradition, that tribe, demonic consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj never followed it, but he was born there. Means what? The soul is transcendental to all the acculturations that we create in this material. The true culture of the soul is that of Krishna consciousness, that we are Krishna conscious beings. Is the true culture, natural and eternal culture of the soul. Anything is acculturation. And that is what everyone follows. We have Hanuman born in the animal family, but he never behaved. He never followed that culture. Hanuman has a perfect intelligence. There's no animal that is a brahmachari. You don't have any brahmachari in animal family. Hanuman is a brahmachari. Natural brahmachari. So he didn't follow the culture of animal. He didn't follow that. What of Haridas? He was born in so-called Sudra. But he never had the Sudra consciousness. He has a transcendental consciousness that he could reach and become the Namacharya. A fool cannot be a Sudra or Yavana, Mlecha cannot be a Namacharya except by training. Only by training. Haridas Thakura appeared there, and he wasn't. You know that he went to training for any school, and then he became Namacharya as he graduated from the training. No, he was naturally a pure devotee of Krishna. This we have seen. It is happening. So we are in this deplorable situation. So the soul is praying. Please, let me get out. As I'm suffering so much here, I cannot think of anything else but how to get out. But if you let me out, my Lord, I will worship you. So we are conditioned to a particular environment, and we are imbibing that culture. And we grow with that mentality. And we'll be acting like that. That is a way of conditioned life. The way of conditioned life, that we accept everything which is imposed upon us foolishly. And by acting on that a foolish background, we grow in darkness and accept darkness as reality. That is what is happening everywhere. We accept this darkness as something wonderful. Yes, I belong to this tribe. I must fight for this tribe. I am from this, and this is what we do. And we also try to impose that on others. It's falsifiable. We want everybody to think like us. We want everybody to speak like us. We want everybody to dress like us. We want everybody to eat what I like. We want everybody to speak or do something that I like. It's falsifiable. We don't think that others have their rights. They have their choice. So we always like to impose our feelings. That is what the parents consider to be their duty, to indoctrinize materialistic culture to any soul born in that environment, to make the child a fool of us, and not to practice how to become a Dhira Damodara. That is, the Prabhupada took this from the verse in second canto. The word kṛpaṇa-dhīr is significant in this verse. D means intelligence, and kṛpaṇa means miserly. Conditioned life is for persons who are of miserly intelligence or who do not properly utilize the intelligence. It's kṛpaṇa. The proper use of intelligence, Krishna told us in Bhagavad Gita. You should make some investments. We are making a lot of investments. A lot of investments. We're investing money. Some business you can get bigger one. So this gambling is going on. Well, Krishna said, invest your intelligence in me. Invest your mind in me. Invest your words in me. Investment. If you make investment, we are expecting something greater. We are expecting some profit. If you invest money in some business, we're expecting at the end of the transaction, we are going to get a bigger money. We make gain. So here Krishna is requesting, please invest your intelligence in me. What will happen if you do that investment? We are going to get our intelligence sharpened to always think of Krishna and never to forget about Krishna for a moment, because our investment have yielded a profit. With the profit, we get to understand what is reality, distinguished from illusion, for the benefit of the whole world. And that is what Bhagavatam propounds. That is the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the teachings. Our intelligence is to help us. Dehy. One who is investing his intelligence or her intelligence in Krishna is not described here as miser. The kṛpaṇa is described in a different way. And Prabhupada using words. Conditional life is for persons who are of miserly intelligence, or who do not properly utilize the intelligence. In human form of life, the intelligence is developed, and one has to utilize that developed intelligence to get out of the cycle of birth and death. One who does not do so is a miser, just like a person who has immense wealth, but does not utilize it, keeping it simply to see. We have many people like that. They take pleasure in accumulating wealth without spending. What was the problem of the Avanti Brahmana? What was the problem with Avanti Brahmana? His problem was not poverty. He was very wealthy. Very wealthy. But he will never use his wealth to help anybody, including himself. That was a serious problem he had. Even when his own cloth is torn, he cannot stitch it with money. Just to stitch it with, it is too expensive. Miser. Just use it 2 rupees to stitch a cloth. He preferred not to spend it. It's too expensive. 2 rupees, that's too much. Too expensive. But it is considered a miser. We are bereft of intelligence. Why? Because if we have a thorn in our cloth, if you don't stitch it, it will keep expanding, and one day you don't have the cloth. Anything which we don't take care, if like a disease in the body, it will continue to expand. One day it becomes chronic. If a fire get into a place it cannot put off, it will continue to expand because a big flame. So Avanti Brahmana has wealth. He's a wealthy merchant. He cannot take care of his family. He cannot. Don't talk about others. He himself cannot spend money for himself. He simply gets his pleasure by seeing how much money he's accumulating. According to law of nature, our world is given to us as a means to serve the Lord and serve living entities. So, not using our world to serve the Supreme Lord and the devotees of Krishna, we are committing a heavy crime that Avanti Brahmana fell from his position and became a street beggar. We may not have the fortune of this Avanti Brahmana that he was able to see his karma before his face. For majority of us, we are going to change our body to start facing our karma. So we don't see what we have done before our face, like Avanti Brahma, who is fortunate to see his own karma before his face. So he was able to tolerate it, and therefore his name is in Bhagavad. It's a problem. A kṛpaṇa. One does not use intelligence to liberate oneself from this precarious situation. Precarious situation. One who does not do so is a miser, just like a person who has immense wealth but does not utilize it, keeping it simply to see. A person who does not actually utilize his human intelligence to get out of the clutches of Maya, the secular birth and death is accepted as miserly. The exact opposite of miserly is udara, very magnanimous. A Brahmana is called udara-dehy because he utilizes his human intelligence for spiritual realization. He uses that intelligence to preach Krishna consciousness for the benefit of the public, and therefore is magnanimous. So a devotee is magnanimous. A devotee is not a miser. A devotee is selfless. That is a devotee. A Brahmana, broad-minded person. Mahatma. He's a Mahatma. He's broad-minded. He is magnanimous because he will distribute Krishna consciousness. He uses intelligence to help others. Udara-dehy. A Mahatma.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev is having some network issue. He will shortly come back. Apologize for waiting.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the disconnection. Yes. So there is a difference between a miser and a magnanimous person. Now we are out. As a result of the prayers we have made to Krishna, we are out. So Krishna is very, very fortunate that he still continues to help us to remember our situation in the womb. But now we are out, we have forgotten because of illusion. Illusion energy of orchestra is very, very, very powerful. Maybe he is a good number. anya-deha-vivare. Dehy, he is a good number. May Krishna said, this is divine. Dehy, Maya. It is very divine, very, very powerful, very, very strong. No condition so can escape it. Mam evaye propadente. Maya metantarant. Only when one surrender to Krishna, that surrender to Krishna is a fortune. Then Krishna will loosen this energy. The grip of us. The grip is very strong. The grip is very, very strong. Material energy. Three guna mai. The three rows of material energy is very strong. Urudam. Very strong. Very strong. So to take shelter of Krishna, which is true taking shelter of Krishna's pure representative, is a solution to all our problems. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If any devotees having question, they can type in the chat box, okay, or they can raise their virtual hand. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Prabhu.
Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam. Nice to see you after a very, very long time.
Yes, I'm sorry for the break.
No,
But that
it's
will
okay.
help improve the appetite.
We also need a time to digest,
Yes.
We are such a condition, so we need, but sometimes breaks, keeps a break actually from the spiritual life also.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's good
yeah.
to have a
But
break so we can
yeah,
have fresh
yeah.
brain to continue.
Yeah, true. I agree with you. Now, so I just taken bath actually to fresh myself actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Maharaj, thank you for a very nice lecture. My question is that though we actually uh, came to this material world, and we have no past history, like what we have done in our history and all that. So how do we know that? And how do we correct actually the let me rephrase it, how do we correct our past actually, because we have no idea about the past and we have no idea about the future also. So how do we correct our past that our future become bright or the spiritual?
Yes. It is not difficult for us to know what we have done in the past. That is not a problem. What do we think? What do we think to be the reason? What do we think should be the reason why someone is in the same family, the same mother, the same father, the same father, the same mother? Two children from the same father, the same mother. One is having a silver spoon in his or her mouth, and the other child is completely opposite. Everything is so strong. What do you think is the reason for that? What do you think is the reason? Well, Christians will say, oh, that is devil. Okay, I agree, that is devil, that is satanic activity. Okay, but why Satan is attacking someone else and not the other person, even though they are from the same family. Why? What reason do we have for that? For intelligent person, we should understand. Why the difference? Why? Because of our simple activities. Is it difficult to understand? Because of our activities. Otherwise, what is the reason? Who can tell us the reason for these anomalies? Eh? If people have left their homes, they went to a church, the house of God, while they are praying seriously, they're not praying to Satan, they're not praying to Hiranyakasipu or Kamsa, they're not praying to demons, they are praying to the Supreme Lord while they were praying, not even in their homes. While they are praying in the house of God, they were killed. What is responsible for that? Yeah?
See, the possible is basically they want to now they are praying because they want to do a spirituality, and also their life will be, they can success in the path of devotion.
Someone is praying to God. Eh? Someone is praying seriously to God. And there, a demon will come and kill you there in the house of God. Is not a disgrace to God? Is it not a disgrace that God is not capable of protecting his people? Eh? Demons are more powerful than God. While they are in their own houses, the demon didn't kill them there. The demons came to kill them in the house of God, right in the house of God. While in the prayer, in the middle of the prayer to God, they were killed by demons, not by devotees, by demons. What is the explanation to that? God is making mistakes. God is incapable. He doesn't know what is happening. Is that the answer? God has forgotten about it. The problem is too much. He has retired. He has retired from this. Too much problem. Let me just leave them to suffer. The situation is above me. I can't handle it again. I have too many innumerable living entities. I couldn't even count. I don't even know what is happening to them. Is that the situation with God? Is that God? So what do we say? What can we say about this situation in the house of God? Who are praying? People, they are killed in the middle of prayer. It happened in America. It happened in Nigeria. In Liberia also happened. During the Civil War in Liberia, the same thing happened. If people left the fighting is going in the city, they successfully walked from their house to the house of God. In the church, they were praying. There the rebel soldiers came and sprayed all of them dead with bullets. So a sensible person will understand that, yes, karma is taking place. This is the result of what we have done, that we are reaping. They cannot have answer, but Krishna has answer. God is not tired. He's not. He's not incapable. He's not. He is eternally capable because everything is under him. Everything, there's nothing which moves without his sanction. Nothing. Yes, that is Krishna. So it's not difficult for a sensible person, to intelligent people to understand. Yes, I have not acted properly. Or get a look, Krishna explained. Those who have acted piously in their previous life, and at the moment their sins are cleansed off, they will take to Krishna consciousness. So we can see that. Why someone is sitting in the office with a conditioned office, and conditioned car, conditioned house, with this in the computer in office, and making billions, and someone is pulling his truck from morning to night just to look for a loaf of bread. What is that? What is responsible for that?
Yeah? Karma, because of karma, they are getting this position.
They will pull the truck the whole day in the hot sun, in the heavy rain. They are pulling, but they hardly get much. Only a loaf of bread to eat. But someone is sitting in the office, everything comfortable, making billions. What is responsible for that? That is our activity, the result of how we have lived our previous lives. It will show, we'll look at every one of us, look at our activity, we can know who we are in our past life. With the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, such show, one can understand everything. We simply need to have the eye of the scripture. We'll see things perfectly. Let us develop the Shastra. That's all. We'll see everything clear. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Very nice explanation. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
you. Next question we have by His Grace Ram Prakash Prabhu, in which he says, how we pray in the womb at the age of 7 months and not able to remember the activities as a child of 2 to 3 years.
Because the lucid energy of Krishna is very powerful, it covers us up, so we forget. We have already given an example of how when we get out, a parent are there to continue to press us down into a demonic culture to make us forget. So we forget because of the lucid energy of Krishna, which is very, very powerful. That is how lucid energy of Krishna is working to make us forget who we are. The moment we already discussed it, then Mauritius, we discuss it. The moment we get out, the lucid energy will give us just a drop of honey. We will get a big basin, a big jar of poison, but just one drop of honey. So I think, I got it. It's an illusion. Material happiness is like that. So we look very carefully, see, the so-called enjoyment we get does not what is the suffering which we pass through to get it. So we forget. We will come and we forget. And we have break the law. So the recommendation is that we should try to visit hospitals. It will help us to get reminded. Should visit hospitals. You should visit cemeteries. Just see. We'll be reminded. It is good for us to visit hospitals. So we see people who are being lined in the hospital there, and the amount of suffering they are passing through. And many of them are not going to come out. To teach us a lesson. All right.
Yes, thank you so much. So the last question we have is by Kanchan Mishra. And the question goes, this is my first class. What does it mean to take shelter of Krishna in our practical life? Please explain by one example. Is it necessary that we have all the scriptures knowledge? Then only we can take shelter of Krishna.
To take shelter of Krishna, just like if we want protection, what do? We take shelter of our parents who are stronger than us, or take shelter of our government who will protect us, or take shelter of somebody something superior. Some people go to spiritually to get some charms, some amulets, some talisman for protection. That is shelter. We're taking shelter of that. We approach some demigod, approach demigod, please give me protection. That is taking shelter. We're taking shelter for these personalities. So similarly, we are taking shelter of Krishna, the ultimate head of everything and everybody, because it will help us to get free from our sufferings under the illusory energy of Krishna. So we recited that verse 7:14. To take shelter of obstruction. Yes, it means that we are intelligent. So we have to develop intelligence to take it. If we don't have intelligence, we cannot surrender to Krishna. We surrender to somebody else. We are always taking shelter of something or somebody. Always. We are taking shelter of alcohol, we are taking shelter of food, we are taking shelter of sex, we are taking shelter. So because every condition we think that we'll give importance to something that because we think that this thing is very important for me, we should give importance, we'll take shelter of that. Yes, I'm going to get my happiness from getting money. So people get addicted to working hard to get money. When I think that yes, alcohol will give me satisfied enjoyment, we'll put a lot of investment into that. We invest all our energy into that to get it. When I think that fame will going to make me happy, we invest all of our energy into getting fame, taking shelter. So when we know Krishna is the supreme person, and the one who is going to give us ultimate freedom, then we surrender to Krishna. So surrender to Krishna means we are now chanting Krishna's name. I have surrendered to you. We are chanting Krishna's name. We are worshiping on Krishna. We are following Krishna's teachings and directions, his guidance. That means shelter. That is shelter. Now we don't have to go to anybody, anything. Yes, now it is Krishna. That means intelligence. A foolish person cannot do that. A foolish person will go to somebody else, something else, when they have difficulties. Intelligent person will take shelter of Krishna. So Sutta Goswami, he told us the best Prabhupada is quoted. Sarva karma. Really, one is having desire for sense gratification, sarva karma. Moksha karma, even one is interested in a liberation. One is considered intelligent if we approach Krishna. A verse is not for devotees. A verse is for non-devotees to encourage us. Whatever is our situation, if we're intelligent, we shouldn't go to demigods, we should go to anything, nobody, we should only go to Krishna. That's intelligence. Why is he considered intelligence? Because we will have ultimate liberation from all our sufferings. Ultimate. If we go to another person, we are doing patchwork. We're still going to look for something more. If you approach Krishna, nothing, zero, because Krishna is complete. So get everything complete. So in Sutta Goswami says, one is considered intelligent. Even though we have desire for sanctification, we don't have desire for sanctification, or we are akama, mosha karma, akama, sarva karma, akama, sarva karma, mosha karma, kudara di. One is considered intelligent and magnanimous. If you surrender to Krishna, you take shelter of Krishna. That's the end. Everything ends in Krishna. Apart from Krishna, we are just speculating. Many things have to come. If you surrender to Krishna, take shelter of Krishna, everything is finished. That's what it means to take Krishna. Take shelter of Krishna, we don't have to go anywhere again. Just like if you go to a supermarket, you buy everything you need in one place. You don't have to go this market, that market, this places. And Bhagavad Krishna use an example of you go to different streams to fetch water. But if you go to ocean, everything is complete. So Krishna is ocean. Everything is complete in one place. All right?
Yes, now we have question by His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. Prabhuji, you can unmute yourself.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances of the dust of the sweet Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Guru Maharaj, the solution to come out from this precarious situation is to become Udara-dehy, to become intelligent. And you mentioned that we have to develop our intelligence. So for the development of intelligence, does it mean that we have to approach the pure representative of the Lord, and then under his guidance we have to follow whatever instruction we get?
Yes. Otherwise, how are we going to develop it? We need training to develop the intelligence. Yes, you say, well, those who are magnanimous. So they will be trained to become magnanimous. What do we have to approach a person who knows? Because they're going to give us what they know. They also become knowledgeable. Yes, so to develop intelligence, you have to go to a person who has developed intelligence. They will train on what they are, maturity. They also become intelligent. You go to devotee will make you a devotee, like himself or herself. Without that, we will not make it. On our own, we cannot make it. Because the person who in the dark room will continue to increase his darkness by continue to move. Better one find a way back as we enter, and to continue to go into it. Yes. Makes sense?
Yes, thank you very much. Guru Maharaj, I have another question, but it is not related to today's topic. So can I ask it, Guru Maharaj?
Yes.
Guru Maharaj, it is regarding chastisement, Guru Maharaj. Suppose we have two devotees, devotee A and devotee B. Devotee A, he complained against devotee B to the higher authority or to the spiritual master. And the devotee B, he has not really committed any mistake or has not been at fault. But the higher authority or the spiritual master, he chastises the devotee B, who was not at fault. So in this situation, what instruction is being, what lesson is being taught by the higher authority or the spiritual master?
Externally, we can say that externally, in our mundane, conditioned way, we can say, why is Vishnu Master chastising me for something I did not do? He's not perfect. The pure devotee is supposed to know. Why I didn't know that? I didn't do this. Why charge me foolishly? So this is wrong. It's not correct. I cannot follow that. That is very, very dangerous for us. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. If I have not done this lifetime, I must have done it in my past life. So what is my right to say I didn't do anything wrong? Why would you not blame the spiritual master? Yes, even the spiritual master is imperfect, as you think, Yeah, the spiritual is not perfect. He is a conditioned soul. So he's trying to be a devotee like me, but so he's still under the influence of material energy. So he's acting like that. Okay, the spiritual master is acting like that. What about Krishna? What about Krishna? Krishna is also influenced. So Krishna told Srivas Pandit. Once there was a rumor. A Kazi is sending soldiers to come and arrest all devotees in the Srivas Pandit. All devotees were there. They will be arrested and punished. They'll be taken to the Kazi. So Srivas Pandit, he entered his altar and he started to pray to the Singhadev. As he was praying to the Singhadev, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house and used his lotus feet to kick the door open. And Srivas, oh, they have come. And when he looked back, it was his sweet Lord. It was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing there. Say, Srivas, what nonsense are you doing? You called for me to come. I was peacefully sleeping on my ocean, peacefully sleeping. You or the daughter said, I called for me to come. Now, daughter ran away from me to go and say Santipo. And you are here praying to me. Nonsense is this. What is this you're doing? Huh? What is it? You don't remember me? Let me tell you, Srivas, even if you don't believe me, you should know that only if I give permission to that Kazi that he will come here. If I don't give him permission, he will not come here. So what about Krishna? Who will not allow anything to happen if he doesn't want it? He allows only things to happen when he wants it to happen. And anything that doesn't want to happen, it will not happen. What about Krishna? If we think that we are right, why Krishna allows it? What is the reason for Krishna allowing it? Krishna is also a conditioned soul like the so-called spiritual master. Yeah? So Krishna said, not a blade of grass will move without my sanction. This we have heard many times, but we are not hearing. We are not hearing. So I'm repeating, I may not have done this lifetime, but I have done it in the past. And Krishna, who knows everything perfectly, is using the spiritual master to correct us. So for a fortunate disciple, fortunate devotee, a fortunate devotee should accept
Hare Krishna, there is some network error. Gurudev will join shortly. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Very sorry for the disconnection. Can you hear me?
Yes, Gurmaharaj.
Okay. So yes, I didn't know the last one I had. I was saying that a fortunate devotee, should accept chastisement if either he did what he's being chastised for or not. For a fortunate devotee should accept it. One who is not advancing will refuse to accept the chastisement, means we don't want to make advancement. For a neophyte devotee, chastisement is very bad. It's a bad thing. It's an imperfection of the spiritual master's nature. The spiritual master is not perfect, is not qualified. So he's chastising me because I'm a perfectly pure soul, and he's not a condition, he's a condition, so he doesn't know me, so he's chastising me wrongly. So anyway, that is the nature of conditioned soul. An advanced devotee will accept the chastisement as Krishna's mercy, a costless mercy, because the spiritual master will chastise the person out of love, because he wants all his children to be the best. Therefore, he is very, very careful to see that he is always alert to see whatever necessary to be adjusted, to be rectified, and he's ready to do it, and he's doing it. Unfortunately, a neophyte devotee will not see it's a costless mercy. But I'm a pure devotee, so I cannot do anything wrong. That is a misfortune. I remember I have practical experiences. I mean, chastised several times for something I didn't do, but I never felt bad about it. I never felt bad. One day, two ghost sisters came to report. They came to report a temple commander to a spiritual master. That day, good sent us to the port, the seaport, to check on our books that came. So he told Bhakti Maharaj and myself, we went the whole day. We came back in the evening. We came out to give him the report of our day activities. So Maharaj left. I was there with the Gurudev when two god sisters came in. I was reporting the spiritual master. So the spiritual master, see, the temple commander did not give us prasada. The temple commander is not the person who is serving prasada. And not that the prasada was finished in the temple. But because they wanted the spiritual master to chastise, they're thinking that chastisement is very bad. So when they chastise the person, yeah, that devotee is a very bad person. So a guru will chastise the person because the devotee is very bad. This is high conditions of things. We always see the negative. So the guru then chastised, he called for him. What are you managing in that? The devotees are not taking prasada. He didn't say anything. I also didn't say anything. Because he knew that it's not his fault, but he cannot argue, cannot explain to the spiritual master. So he kept quiet. So the spiritual master told him, you should fast, you should not eat. When that devotee left, I told Gurudev, see, Gurudev, it is not his fault that this devotee didn't get prasada. It is not his fault. So please, Gurudev, let him eat. The whole day I'm not eating. Let me continue my fasting till tomorrow. Gurudev said, okay, two of us will fast. I have gone out the whole day. The whole day. We left 6 o'clock in the morning. We came back 5 in the evening. Each side they were from office to office trying to trace our books. And Gurudev, okay, two of us will fast. 2 of us will fast. That's all right. I fasted. So for anyone to think that that was punishment for me is mistaken. He's a fool. Because I got purified. I'm still chanting Hare Krishna. I'm not perfect yet. I'm not pure yet, but I'm still chanting Hare Krishna. But these two devotees who went to make the request, they're not chanting Hare Krishna. The two of us who were chastised by Guru, we are chanting. 2 of us were still chanting Hare Krishna. But the two who came to report, they're not chanting Hare Krishna. So which one is better? So Gurudev made a mistake by chastising us. So we think like that. It's our neophyte nature to think that chastisement is wrong. Chastisement means bad. Chastisement means that we are a worse person. But chastisement is not like that. I always quote this many times. La Prabhupada, one day, his servant was not sitting there waiting. But Prabhupada one day, he did not say, the servant is not there. So he left. He went somewhere. So some devotees, they came to see Prabhupada. And after they finished, so Prabhupada told, particularly His Holiness Navajanta Maharaj was among the devotees. He should call for this for the servant. When the servant came, Prabhupada yelled at him, "You are a fool. Why are you not here? You're supposed to be here. Your duty is to be here. Why are you not here? We're supposed to be here." He was shouting. But that devotees, they were very afraid. Oh, Gurudev is angry. So they asked Prabhupada. So when a good brother, a good sister makes his spiritual master angry, what should we do? What should we disciples do? Someone had disturbed our spiritual master. Should we join him to beat him or beat her? Prabhupada said, no, you should be happy that devotee is making advancement. His spiritual master loves him and he's correcting him. That is spiritual master love for him. So we should be happy that that devotee is getting the mercy. He has the love of the spiritual master. I'm quoting, I'm giving name because that's what I saw. Navajana Maharaj was among the devotees who had this experience. So that devotee is a useless person. Prabhupada said that is the love of the spiritual master. For a neophyte devotee thing. So this teacher goes and we're laughing that the temple commander was chastised by his spiritual master. They have eaten, but they went to complain. It's okay. It's all right. What is it? And never even by mistake to think, oh, why good chastise me? I never thought like that. But I feel happy, and that's what is keeping me because I got purified from it. So a sincere, advising or fortunate devotee accept chastisement and Krishna, the spiritual master's love for him, for her, and will accept it wholeheartedly. And that will bring purification. From my experience, chastisement brings purification. But because we don't want to get purified, chastisement for us is bad. We get angry. I never get angry, get chastised. I will go chastised for many times for things I don't do. You know, you didn't even think of. It never even come to my mind. It's chastised for it. It's okay. It's all right. If Christian makes mistake, okay, that is my foolishness. I never thought a Christian make mistake or Guru make mistake. Even I knew that the person is chastising me because some people have said something to him. I could think that we are not pure, but I never thought like that. I accept everything. It's my own mistake. I'm sure that's part of the teaching is keeping me because I'm accepting it as my purification. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj.
I think we have gone too far, so let's close here. I'm keeping you too. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Yeah?
Yes, we have just one last question.
Okay. I don't mind.
So we have
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
We have question by Sanjay Prabhuji, in which he says, if we have spiritual desire in our heart and feel that devotees are our managerial authority and they will not allow us to follow those desires, what shall we do?
Just be patient. Just be patient. Just keep quiet, or keep your desire for preaching. Just keep your desire for preaching and don't blaspheme anyone. Don't make any negative utterances towards them. Just keep your desire to preach and continue to do whatever services you are doing for the moment, and Krishna will make arrangement that you get your opportunity to preach. That is sure. That is certain. Some years ago, I remember some years ago, one friend, he came to me complaining the same thing. He was really underused, very intelligent, talented, and he had many ideas, but he was in a temple that they have so many other professionals there. So he was feeling very restless and bad. I told him, Prabhu, just be patient. Be patient. And I'm very happy today to boldly say that He waited, and today he's doing exactly the same as he's doing now. And the spiritual master blessed him to do that. He has freedom to do it. He's there in Vrindavan. He's there in Vrindavan. He's preaching very happy because now he's doing what he can do. He has a talent for that, and he's doing it. He's happy. So I'm sure that the same experience you will have. You just be patient. You will get there by Krishna's mercy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all the devotees. Jai. Thank you so much.
Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glorious assembly.
Srila Bhakti Dhira Swami ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.